Wi-Fi's on. Live and direct. How we doing? Let's go.
Well, hello there.
Everyone. I don't see anyone yet. Getting a little nervous.
What?
I'm just joking.
All right, so welcome everybody. It's kind of tall. Let's see. I don't want to cut your face off.
No, we're good.
So today is the first of a 6-week live series. What would we call this?
Let's call it an event. A live event. For
the next 6 weeks, we're going to be coming to you live here in Cake Sense. If you're watching this on YouTube, then that means you're watching a replay. But we're going to be showing up for you guys in Cake Sense, talking to you about all kinds of amazing things to help grow your business and really kind of just shift your perspective into the business mindset that you need to have in order to kill it and win in the baking industry. Why do you keep looking at me?
Because you're saying stuff that's really powerful, and I want to make sure I look at you so that you know that
you don't have to look at me.
What you're saying.
Anyways, okay. So Jess Martinez is back with us again. She's in it to win it. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I love, and that's called branding. And the reason why branding is one of my favorite topics is because most people don't understand that your brand speaks and tells a story about what it's going to be like to do business with you before your products even speak.
Man, you made it much longer. Your brand speaks before your product can.
Cliff Notes version from Eddie Copeland. Okay, what does that even mean though? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so brands are so important because they affect us in the more the emotional and the psychological standpoint. They draw us in before we even know what they're about. They tell a great story. They get us all sucked up into the greatness of whatever they're creating, and then we just want to buy whatever it is. So the brand that you're creating is so powerful.
So empowerful?
So powerful.
Okay, got it.
So powerful.
All right.
Just wanted to make sure I got that clear.
Okay, so we're going to share a story with you, and unfortunately we don't have slides to show you, but you can follow along, and I posted it in the Cake Mamas.
You just have to be really descriptive and so they have imaging.
All right.
Pretend to have slides.
Okay, let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes. So in 2014, 5 years ago, our two youngest children, they were 7 and 9, Kaylah and Jordan, okay? They were sitting at home. We were at the dinner table. We had watched a YouTube video about a kid that was like winning and killing it on YouTube. And I told the kids, man, you guys need to step up. Like, you gotta figure out how to make yourself carve out your little corner in life. And so they were inspired by this kid that we watched on YouTube. I don't remember who it was, but I remember that's why the conversation started. And they were like, we got to start a business. And I was like, start a business? You're 7 and 9. What are you gonna do? And they were like racking their brains, like, we got to start a business. Yeah. Okay, why do you want to start a business? Because we want to make money. All right, well, you want to start a business, you want to make money. I like that. Little hustlers. Yeah. Talk to me about it more. So it turned into this whole conversation, and then they arrived at, we're going to start a lemonade business. All right, lemonade business. Let's talk about it.
How original.
Right? So the reason this story is super important, I'm going to need a lot of chats and a lot of comments from you guys because I want to know that you're tracking and we're not just talking about our kids. Trust me, it's not going to be some boring story about our kids. We don't like them that much. Just kidding. They're really awesome. So, but we're not here to talk to you about our kids. I'm here to show you how the conversation goes when you have this huge idea that you want to start a business, right? So some of you, it has started because maybe you went to a bakery like mine or a bakery somewhere local to you. They got a quote. They provided you with a quote. You were like, what? That's stupid. And then you decided to go home, buy all the stuff, and make your own cake. Some of you, that's how you started.
Yeah.
Some of you, like me, were maybe laid off from a job or going through tough financial times. And you were like, I got to start a business because I got to figure out how to support my family, right? So that would be a survival reason.
Yeah. Or maybe you're a homemaker and you were sitting back and you were like, I could probably do something from home to generate income from our family. So
Yeah.
Why not do this?
Or you're an artist. And sometimes, they say artists, starving artists, they don't have a lot of money. So maybe you started just because you've created things your whole life and what you make is really, really beautiful and amazing and yummy. And people just told you should start a business. So those are just a couple of reasons why you probably started your business. Yeah. Okay, so your why is super important. But is it fair to say that if you started a business because you wanted to generate some extra income for your family, that you would then start your business asking questions about money? Is this a profitable business? Maybe. How much is this going to cost me? What do I need to buy and invest in order to start this business? How much money could I actually make from this?
Can I actually make a profit?
Right, okay. So some of you, I would challenge you that if you're bad at numbers and you're not really like into the numbers, I was like, someone's walking across our front yard, but it's our daughter. Then I would challenge you, like if you started to make money, have you skipped those steps, right? If you started, did you just fall into the house, Jasmyn?
I was trying to pick
Now you gotta come say hi because you're messing up our live. Why are you home in the middle of the day? You get a car and now you just think you can do whatever you want.
I got up early. You haven't responded in my text.
Okay. We haven't responded to your text because we're on a live and you're ruining it now. So come over here, say hi to the people.
Hi.
This is Jasmyn Copeland. You guys, tell them a little bit about yourself.
I'm a senior.
Where?
And at Charter Oak High School.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot about.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
And she got a new car, and she's got accepted to a bunch of schools.
Yeah, she's on a winning streak right now, you guys. She applied to 7 colleges, got into all of them, winning, right?
So far, yeah.
Yes.
I actually got my first
Decline.
You
did?
Yeah, to San Diego State.
Oh.
I was like,
she got into San Diego University.
Right.
Unbelievable.
They're lost. Did you hear her? They're lost. That's right, girl. Yes. Okay. So back on track. We're talking about your sisters. Shut the door. Sorry, we're back. Okay. So, so our kids, not her, but what are their names?
That's Jasmyn. We have Kaylah and we have Jordan.
So Jordan and Kaylah say they want to start a business. You remember the lemonade business?
Yeah, I wasn't a part of it.
You were not a part of that because you didn't want to make money at that time.
Yeah, but now I'm going to go to get these coins so I can...
Wait, come show the people
She wants to
right
get
now.
gas?
Jasmyn has to get gas now for her car because she paid for everything. So look what she just came home for right now.
Is that for lunch?
Yeah, and...
What are you going to do with this?
I don't know. Brandon has a bunch of coins too, so I'm going to take some of his too.
God.
Oh my gosh. Okay, be careful
Don't
in that
commingle
car.
your money.
Yeah.
Keep it separate.
Yeah. So, okay, back to the story. Swear to God. Okay, so Jordan and Kaylah want to start a business. She's 11. She doesn't understand the hustle at the time. Now she's counting pennies. Go figure. Kaylah has lots of money in her bank account. So anyways, they say they want to start a lemonade business. So we start to ask them a series of questions like, okay, why do you want to do this? We want to make money. Well, what's going to make your lemonade business special? Like, I mean, do you think that this is a good business? Well, we see people doing it all the time. Okay, you see people doing it all the time.
Sound familiar?
Right? It totally sounds familiar. Well, and of course I don't want them to think that the market is saturated, so then they talk themselves out of it, but we have to ask exploration questions, right? So what other questions did we ask them? Do you remember?
What do you want to name this company? What would be something like, what should it look like? What should the colors look like? What will you wear?
Yeah. Okay,
Right?
so let's take it step by step. You're
Okay.
taking all my thunder away, so I'll
You
just
asked me a
lead the
question,
conversation.
and all I know how to do is provide thunder.
So the big thing was I asked them, do you know how much it costs to make lemonade? And they were like, no. Okay, well, do you have money to start a business? No. So then how do you start a business? You want to start a business so you can make money.
At this point, they're like, ugh.
Right, okay.
can't start a
So I
business.
said, all right, well, then that means you need an investor.
Bing!
What's an investor? An investor is someone that's going to give you money to help you buy all of the stuff, your initial investments, your startup costs. And then they're going to help you stay accountable to that so you can pay them back.
Yes.
And they go, yeah, give us the money, we'll pay you back. And I was like, well, how much would you sell the lemonade for though? Like, do you know how many cups of lemonade you would have to say? So I remember Kaylah goes, 25 cents. I was like, you're gonna sell lemonade for 25 cents? She goes, is that a lot? That's not. So you don't understand the value of $1, right?
Yeah.
So this was such a fun conversation. Why is this important? This is important because some of you wanted to start a business and you didn't take the time to step back and say, what's this gonna cost me, right? So you immediately said, I wanna start a business because I wanna start making money. Great, good for you. But guess what? Starting a business costs you something. Starting a business costs you money. So you need money for initial investments.
Yeah.
You need to buy pans, you need to buy butter, you need to buy all this stuff. But instead what happens is you commingle your money and you go out and you buy a bunch of stuff. I know this because I did this, right?
So you are taking an investment from your household and you never thought about paying the household back, or you probably didn't even think it was an investment. You probably just said, I'm gonna absorb this and we're gonna go into business.
You probably just said, I'm gonna go buy the stuff I need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't the case because they started with nothing, right? So I said, okay, well, let's write down some things you might need to start your lemonade company. And so we start writing it down, and it's everything from, okay, well, we're gonna need a table. We have a table in the backyard. Awesome. So they're trying to penny pinch now because they have to be resourceful.
Yeah.
Because every penny that they borrow from us, the agreement was that if we gave them an investment to start their company, they had to give us 3% of their profits in order to pay it back. So some of you are like, you guys are way hard parents. Guess what? They're freaking getting accepted into colleges and they're winning, and that's okay. And truth be told, you're gonna ruin your kids somehow, some way. You may as well ruin them for the better.
For something.
They
We're just
will.
Gonna make
They're
sure
gonna
it's
hate
like
you at some point
because of overachievement.
They're gonna hate the way that you raise them somehow, some way. But yes, I would rather be like, so you're mad because we forced you.
They just wanted so much from me.
Yeah,
We've been down that road already.
Yep, that's okay. But look at her winning,
that one right
getting
there.
in all the colleges.
The expectations are too high.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see.
According to who?
Life has different expectations. Trust me.
Okay. So anyways, back to your initial investment. You may not just have to invest in money. You may have to invest your time. And this is where I need to see in the comments that I'm talking to you. This is resonating with you and you're getting it. Some of you are stay-at-home moms. Maybe you're a stay-at-home dad. Some of you are working a 9 to 5 and juggling 3 children. Some of you have 5 children. Some of you have 2 jobs. So I would just tell you that there are only 24 hours in a day, right? Yeah. And so when you say that you're going to sign up to start a business or sign up to do anything else that's in addition to what's already on your plate, something will suffer.
Yeah.
Should I say it again?
I think you need to say it again.
Something's gonna suffer. You have to give up something. So Ebony says she has 5 children. She decided to start a business, which I believe is why you're here. You have 5 children. Guess what? They can't take care of themselves. They can't raise themselves. They still have to be fed. You gotta go grocery shopping. You gotta do all this stuff for these dang kids, right? So what happens is we take on more responsibilities without thinking about the investment of what it's gonna cost in sacrifice, which is mostly time, and it's gonna take you away from your family. It's gonna take you away from your responsibilities because you're bringing something on without letting something else go. You can't let go of the kids, Ebony, I'm sorry. So
yeah, you can't create something without leaving something else behind, right? And so when you're starting a business, you are creating something out of virtually nothing, right? And that is going to require so much of you in order to do that. And so that's something that may not be taken in consideration when starting a business.
Yeah, so I think that this is helpful because some of you are upset. Like, I have a 9 to 5, I have these orders, my business would be doing so much better if I could dedicate so much more time. Well, if that's the case and you thought about the fact that there are only 24 hours in a day and you generally are supposed to sleep for 8 of those, that leaves you with 16 more. And if you're going to work for another 8 hours,
10.
Now it took away 16, maybe 18 hours. Now you've only got maybe 6 more hours to do whatever you have to do. And if you still have to be a mom, you still have responsibilities, you still have to juggle school or laundry or whatever it is, when will you be able to make the time for your business? And so I truly believe that there's no magic answer to this, but I believe that the answer is just like being graceful with yourself. Like you're trying to make all of this stuff happen with all these dang kids, with this job, with all these responsibilities, and you have to be really honest with yourself. Like if you got what you were praying for. I'm praying for all these customers to find out about my business so I could be, Instagram famous and have all these customers coming in and ordering cakes. That's great. But what happens to the laundry? What happens to the kids?
And I think this is
you
why
don't have time for that.
This conversation is so important, because if you don't slow down to do this work and you get your ducks in a row, what happens is you have no time to go backwards.
Yep.
And when you do have to go backwards, because in some cases maybe you do, so much is lost, right? And so slowing down and making sure you start the right way, man, it can help you with so many things, especially with these dang kids. That's going to be like your whole life.
These dang kids.
That's going to be a meme.
So let me know in the comments below
kids.
if you just have a minor shift. Like, God, I have been kind of complaining about I want my business to grow, but I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I feel tired. I feel overworked. But really, did I bring this on myself? Okay, so the next question we asked our kids was, well, what's this going to cost you in time? Like you have gymnastics, you've got all of these things that you're committed to. When will you even have time to start a lemonade company, right? Because they didn't say we want to sell lemonade in the front yard. They said we want to start a lemonade business. We want our own company like this kid on YouTube. And so I was like, okay, well, what kind of time do you have to be able to dedicate to this business? Also, next investment is your support system. Who's going to be equally as invested as you are in signing up to take on these responsibilities? Because I'll tell you what, we see it so often when we're coaching our students that a lot of times it's the women in this community that are starting businesses they're super passionate, super excited about, but then the husband's upset because, girl, you didn't make dinner, or this didn't happen. And then the husbands oftentimes will be like, it's not even a real business. Like, you're not even really making money off of this. And so, who is going to be invested like you from a support system standpoint is super important.
Yeah, so they volunteered us.
Yeah, so they did. So we sign up to be their supporters, and now we're their supporters and their investors. Okay, so back to the kids. So we're like, okay, well, if you start a business is about consistency. You want people to know who you are, but when will you be showing up, right? So they put a schedule together. They decide that every Saturday from 11 o'clock in the morning until I think it was 1 or 2 in the afternoon, they had this small window of time before, after gymnastics and before something else, right? So that was what they committed to. We made them commit to a schedule because you're not starting a business that we're gonna be running, right? So read the question and then I'll move on.
Can you have a sustainable business if you only have 2 hours? I think if you have 2 hours that you can say you can get in and be productive and make a good product, you can have a business. How successful that business will be, it's going to be up to you. But at the same time, you're going to probably have to start spending more time if you wanted to grow.
Yeah, so if you were to dedicate 2 hours a day times 7, that's 14 hours a week, depending on how long it took you to respond to emails, how long you wanted to spend marketing the business. Quite frankly, if you only have 2 hours a day, I wouldn't say you should be marketing at all, because the point of marketing is to increase your sales and to expand your brand awareness and to get people to come order from you. So if you only have 2 hours, I really love that question, because then you shouldn't be focused so much on gaining customers. You should be focused on the hours that you do have, making sure that you're perfecting your craft, you're getting better, and that you're only taking up to 14 hours a week in cakes. And then what you could do is you could specifically only focus on referral-based clientele. That's it. So you're gonna wow these customers and you're gonna give them thank you cards and you're gonna ask them for 3 referrals and you're gonna do tons of stuff because you only have so much time. So you don't need to be spending time on Instagram, on Facebook. You don't need to be trying to boost posts. You don't need to be worried about your followers or any of that because you don't have time to even engage with your followers. Right. So that's a really great question that some of you need to understand. All right, so getting back to, do you need money to start? Absolutely, every business needs money in order to start. So in the case of our kids, we ask them, where does the money come from? I'm asking you guys this too. Where does the money come from? What does the money go towards? How much money do you need? What things will you be spending it on that will help you get money back? So are you going to be spending it on marketing efforts? Are you just going to be buying a bunch of cool cookie cutters and stuff that you like because you think you might need them for future business, right? So I would ask you guys, if you were to go back and start over and say, hey, I want to start a cake business, and you were to say, hey, I'm going to start researching and just looking at how much it costs for cake pans and spatulas and what does it cost to make frosting, I guarantee that if that money had to come from another account or an investor where there was a penalty, meaning like you had to pay back every penny, 100% of you would be calculating your costs.
Every penny, yeah.
Every single penny. So in our case with our daughters, I was like, okay, well, we have to put some marketing, or we have to put some money towards branding. We've got to create a brand. So let's talk about the name of your company. Let's talk about, you know, what do you want the company to look like? And they said, well, we want to name it something like sour, because sour lemonade, let's call it Sour Lemonade. Is that a good name? I don't know, right? So we literally walked them through the whole naming process of their business. Then they started calling each other, well, if we're going to do this and we're going to be sisters, we're going to be the Sour Sisters. Mm-hmm. So then we were like, okay, Sour Sisters is really cute, right? Well, guess what? We Googled it to see if there were any other Sour Sisters, and the Sour Sisters already existed.
Already taken.
So then we had to talk to them about brand confusion. So they said, so you mean to tell me because one person has a business called the Sour Sisters, we can't also be the Sour Sisters? We're Sour Sisters. Yeah, but you can't do that, because if this person wants to sue you, they will come for you, and they don't care that you're 7 and 9. So some of you, I will tell you another fact, you're picking names from like outer space that sound good.
Yeah.
Creative Cakes, Tasteful Cakes. These companies already exist, and it takes one of them to actually follow through with registering and trademarking their business for them to serve all of y'all with cease and desist letters, forcing you to now go through a brand overhaul and figure out a new name. So tip number 2, I think we're on, if you are using a name right now that is extremely common, it doesn't matter who found it first. What matters is if it's trademarked. What matters is if it's confusing. So like, you do not want to engage in anything that creates brand confusion.
And I would say this, those last 2 points, finding the right name and then doing the homework on your prices or your costs, like buying all your stuff, it's so important that you do that work. Don't ask people.
What do you think of this name? What do you think?
Because what ends up happening when you say, how much does these things cost? You're getting their opinion. You're getting what they paid.
Not facts.
And you're not getting facts. They may have went to the highest bid. They may have not done a lot of homework. And so it is important that you go and you find that detail yourself, because I can tell you, I've learned about so many companies that have cornered the market because they did the work of saying, okay, what is the bottom line price I can find on this? And they did so much homework that they have the best product, but they also have the lowest cost because of the fact that they did their own homework.
Yeah.
So that's critical.
So back to the branding. So I ask them, okay, we finally decide on a name. It's going to be Sour Sweets.
Woo!
Why Sour Sweets? Because the name's available, and they could come up with a really cool logo, and they could still call themselves the Sour Sisters, but they are the Sour Sister owners of Sour Sweets. And then they came up with a tagline, and the tagline was, let me find it, something about like, we sell all things sweet and sour. And then I said, well, that sounds like teriyaki chicken or something, right? So literally we're poking holes in all of this stuff. We're being their market researchers, right? And so the tagline, I'm looking at the picture right now. Hold on, let me back up. And I'm gonna share all these photos with you. But it said, pucker up on the sign. We are Sour Sisters who specialize in sour sweets. Duh. So they can get away with duh because they're 7 and 9, right? It says lemonade, cake pops, cupcakes, and other sour treats. I wonder where they were going to get their cake pops and their cupcakes from, right?
Strategic partnership.
Strategic partnership. So moving on to the products, right? I asked them, well, what makes your product better? And they were like, I mean, it's lemonade. And I said, well, if you're going to sell 25-cent lemonade, that's pretty cheap. Do you really think that you're going to be able to pay us back for this investment? No. Should we charge 50 cents? I don't know. How much is a glass of lemonade? So then they were like, what about that place in the mall that makes lemonade? Hot dog on a stick. What makes their lemonade so good? It's just really yummy. Why? Because they make it, like they do the thing where they're like plunging it, right? So they knew this. So I said, well, if that's why their lemonade is more expensive and they're not selling it for 25 cents, what would you have to do to create a product that could command more money for the product? Because you're only selling lemonade, right? So then they start brainstorming and they start thinking, well, how do you even make lemonade? It's just water and sugar. So long story short, you guys, this happened over weeks. They decided that we needed to look up recipes and test recipes to figure out how to create a product that was better from everyone else. And I'll give you the secret to sour sweets: cook your sugar. So we realized, I think it was a Martha Stewart blog, that you have to cook your sugar and make a simple syrup, add it to the lemonade. It's got to be the right temperature. It was so good. So we tested products. Some of you are just like, well, I just am really focused on the art. Well, then what is different about your product versus everyone else's? So are you doing the work? Are you showing up? Are you doing market research? Or are you trying to just say, it's just a cake, I'm just gonna sell it. It's just lemonade, I can sell it for 25 cents, right? So we start to continue to develop the brand, and I'm like, okay, you're like $10 in, you're in debt. You owe us $10. How will you sell this, right?
And this was a big problem for Kaylah because she just does not like partying with money.
She hates being in debt or like anything. She wants to keep all of her money. So how will you sell it? Let's start with some basic questions. Where will you sell it? Well, we don't want to do it in the front yard. Why? Because there's not a lot of traffic there. Like, it's just it's not a busy street. So where could we go? Let's go down the street on the corner by the flower shop, because there's a lot of customers that go there. They're not even customers, you guys, it's just traffic, right? So we started talking about what are your hours gonna be? Like, how long will you be there based on your schedule again? And then it came up if you have this product or this company that nobody knows about, how will you get people to know about it? And so we taught them what strategic partners were. So the Cake Mamas was signed up to be a strategic partner. They wanted us to create lemon cupcakes and lemon cake pops that they could sell. So now we're working out wholesale deals, right? So I swear to you, this is how we teach our children everything. If you guys know us, you know that this is dead on. So I made them roll the cake pops. They had to do the work on this. So this was like a month's worth of work for them to even open on the first day. So we talk about strategic partners. There's a strawberry farm locally in our neighborhood that has this little strawberry stand at on the corner that they wanted to be on. And so they were like, what if we call Starberry Farms and we ask them if we could sell lemonade at their stand? Perfect. I didn't come up with that idea. They did.
Yeah.
So we contacted them. They said, no problem. You can't be in our stand, but you can be on the property, right? Perfect. Great location. There's good traffic. It's in the summer. This is awesome. So some of you are not taking a step back to see, how am I going to get people to notice me?
Right.
Where am I going to sell my products? What strategic partners could I use and position myself with? How could I make it mutually beneficial for them?
Right.
Okay, so back to the investments. They come up with a logo, which they're sketching out. I gifted to them access to our graphic designer, and I said, they have this whole idea. Can you bring it to life? They chose the colors. They chose the tagline, the slogan. So we get this banner made for them. The banner they have to pay for, right? And then I go, okay, well, we got to take the brand to the next level. If you're going to have a lemonade stand, like, how's your stand going to look different from everyone else's? They were like, no, Mom, we don't need that. You kind of do. You're selling lemonade for $2. What's going to make someone stop? Like, they have to see you from the street. They have to know that, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's really cute. So how could you make it a big deal? Always look like $1 million, even though you don't have a penny, because you're going to be in debt, right? Mm-hmm. And this is something I tell all of my students. You have to, like, understand you cannot start a business from nothing. You got to go all in, at least on the things that pertain to branding.
Yep.
Because people want to stop, like, you got to get their attention, right? So we had a tablecloth made with some cheap fabric we found at Joann Fabrics. We went to IKEA and I was like, you got to get these little fake yellow flowers and this yellow canister. What'd they say?
No,
we can't afford that. We don't need that. And I was like, you kind of do though. And I'll get a can of yellow spray paint. I will spray paint this thing and it'll be a cute little thing that you put on your table, right? So now we have a table, we have a tablecloth, we have a couple of little decorations. We had to get mason jars. Well, we found them at Walmart. They were cheaper than at IKEA. So we did all this penny pinching stuff, right? Now, what was the other thing? So we went to Home Depot to get spray paint. And then I was like, what if we build, like, it's just 4x4s.
Yeah.
And then the sign can, like, stand above that, right?
What if I built that?
Remember?
Yeah.
But it was my idea.
Yeah, I did.
The kids did not want to invest in wood. So I said, I'm sorry, as your investor,
I need to make sure I invest.
Right, yeah. I need to make sure that your company is set up to win and you're going to actually be able to make the money back. Yeah. So you could pay me because you're in debt, right? So I had to make a decision and say, nope, you're getting a freaking stand and we're making a stand and we'll be cheap about it. They painted it. They had to do all the work, but we bought the stuff, okay? So here we are. We put the stand together. So now first day, we gotta set up. What do we do though? We have to launch a product. So some of you are just like, okay, I'm open, and you're just putting stuff out on your Facebook or your Instagram. I have these cakes, I make these cakes, I want people to buy. That's not enough, right? So what are some steps that they have to take in order to be in launch mode, in promotion mode, to get people to even know who they are before they just ask you to sell? Just a couple of quick tips.
Yeah, so I think the first thing you want to do is, one, establish your audience and start, putting out posts on social media. You want to, like, create the beginnings of momentum. You want to start talking about things. You want to talk about relevant things. You want to start going to other people's page and start talking about relevant things. And then you want to kind of lead them through the path of saying, hey, we've got something coming.
Yeah, where? Is that, like, create little flyers? Is that pass them out at the local schools? Is that tell your friends that you're going to be having a lemonade sale at a lemonade stand? It's taking
samples at different places and talking about the business, not just going in there saying, hey, I have samples, you guys want it? But sitting there saying, hey, how you doing? My name is Eddie. I just want to let you guys know I have this wonderful business. Here's some samples. What's your name? Oh, it's really great to meet you. Networking. Communicating, building relationships.
So the deal was that the kids had to go to school and they had to pass out these little flyers to their friends and invite their friends to their lemonade stand. Yeah. So it said it's on the corner of Barranca and Grand on this time at this day. So what is that? That's a commitment. Mm-hmm. You're going to be there, you're fully invested, right? So some of you are not, like, where are you? Like, are you showing up in your community? Are you asking people to come and support you? Are you handing out flyers? Are you being strategic? Back to the strategic partners.
Or you're thinking maybe your product is going to sell itself.
Right. So back to the strategic partners, Noelle says, in the cake land, it's all the same. But yes, a photographer would be an amazing strategic partner, especially when you're signing up or you're starting, because your website or your social media feed, something needs great photos. So actually the kids hired a strategic partner, which was my sister, who was a photographer here. And I'm going to share those images with you.
But also the Cake Mamas did something very similar. Not only had a photographer, but had a photographer that specialized in kids. And remember the baby rush?
Yep. So we had a baby model I had some onesies made because we were the cake mamas, so we wanted little babies to be a part of it too. We made a baby onesie that said the cake mamas. We had a photographer photograph this baby with a smash cake, and this baby became the poster child for the cake mamas when we first opened. So the same was true for Sour Sweets,
Yep.
the Sour Sisters. They got these cute little aprons that they had made. They had a tablecloth. They held their sign up. They did a little commercial, and I'll share all these photos with you guys. But the point is like, you gotta think of all the pieces.
Yeah.
You can't just be showing up, choosing a logo from nothing, picking colors that you think that like, oh, I really like the Lakers, so purple and gold are good colors. Those don't maybe translate into a good lemonade company or a good cake company. So you have to be putting some thought into this stuff. Obviously, we can't go over every single thing this because we're gonna be doing this for 6 weeks, so don't feel like everything's gonna be in this particular live. But going back to the promotional and the launch strategy, how are you going to launch it? How will you scream from the top of the, the rooftop to get everyone to know that this is where you're gonna be
Right.
at this time, or this is what you do, this is what you sell, I need your support, come be a part of my business.
It may be a giveaway. It may be something that you do just to get people excited about what's to come.
Yep. And so those are the beginning stages of how to start a business or a lemonade stand. You've got to have great products. You've got to put some thought into how much it's going to cost you. You need some investors. You need to know that your numbers are important regardless of what you're making. And so I would challenge you, go back, take a look and see, how did you start your business? Did you give any thought to any of this stuff? Did someone say, you should start a business, you're really good at that? And then all of a sudden you got business cards. Or did you say, hey, I want to start a business because I need to make some extra income. Here are the hours that I can allocate to this, and here's what I'm expecting that I could generate based in these particular hours that I'm going to dedicate towards this business.
That sounds like a goal.
Yeah, I like goals.
Yeah, and so starting a business, I think you have to have a goal. Like, what is the desired outcome? Like, if someone says, hey, you should start a business, and you say, yeah, I'm going to, and you just start getting into work, and you don't necessarily design a goal of saying, hey, this week I want to make 6 cakes or whatever the case may be, then you're not giving yourself a target. And if you don't have a target, one of the things I would tell you is that, action without aim leads to exhaustion.
Yeah.
And I think that some of you are exhausted because you have no aim.
Yeah.
So get an aim, and then you'll find purpose, and then you'll find this rejuvenating feeling of saying, hey, I know where I'm going, and every inch you get closer to where you're going refuels you so you keep going.
And I would say that the beginning stage of beginning stages of a business should start with, what's this going to cost me? Am I going to get the support that I need? Am I going to get can I pull the hours that I need to be focused on this? Is the money available? Because let's be real, if you have 5 kids, you're on a fixed income, you're a stay-at-home mom, you may not have the money to invest in all of the things that you need. Sure, you can start off slowly, but at the same time, you need to be putting money aside. So this is just the opening to a conversation of what it takes to start a business. I promise tomorrow, when we get on and share more with you, it's not going to be about a lemonade stand, but I want you to really understand that every point that we made in this video could also help you in your cake business. That's why we're talking about it. When you're having a conversation about starting a business, so much needs to go into it. So we're going to continue that conversation with you over the next 6 weeks. Ebony thought that it was extremely helpful, so I hope you guys did too. Leave your comments below and let us know what specific questions you want to talk about the beginning stages of starting a business. We will be on tomorrow to chat with you about those. So have a great day, you guys, and we'll be looking forward to your comments, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.